Bill Hoffman. And with the expectation being that Torgersen is going to be right on his game, Hoffman knows that he's got to bring his A game here as well. Here's his first ball, and it's not what he wanted. It's not a disaster because he'll get the spare, but you always want to start off with a strike.
Well, from where the ball hit, Bill will be pleased with just leaving a single pin here. I'd have expected the ball to do a little bit more, but it didn't, so has to be content with an easy spare.
There it is. He spared very well in this tournament, Bill Hoffman. But you have to suspect that spares will not be enough against Torgersen, assuming Torgersen has got the nightmare of the previous lane condition out of his system. Most un-Torgersen-like numbers, 194 in the singles match against Dino Castillo. But right off to a fast start here. And you talked about the tactics of bringing Torgersen in for this first match, and he certainly made a good start on this, Oil.
Yeah, it's looking like good tactics at the moment. Perfect shot from Tora.
So here's Hoffman, who comes from Cleveland. Name 3 good things to come out of Cleveland, Richard.
Oh, you got me there.
Well, I'll tell you in a minute, while I think about it. Well, I'll tell you what, Bill Hoffman's number 1, the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame's number 2, and the Cleveland Indians baseball team. How about that? And Hoffman's right up there after that strike. Terrific effort, good response.
Yes, excellent shot from Bill.
Okay, well, you failed on the Cleveland question. Tora Torgersen's from Stavanger. 3 things to come out of Stavanger, please, Richard.
Well, they've got a soccer team, one of the better teams in Norway, I believe.
And they've got Torgersen. You're still 1 short. Oh, another strike. We'll have to come back to that one. We'll let you off the hook. A double for Tora. Well, you called this before the match, Richard. You said you thought that Tora Torgersen would be the lead-off man in the singles because this fresh oil would suit him. And my goodness me, you couldn't have been more right.
This has the makings of a very intriguing match because Bill is bowling very well too at the moment, and Tora does seem to bowl better on this fresh condition, so looking forward to a really good one here.
Bill needs to match strike with strike, and does. Right in the pocket.
Yes, good power, good mix on the pins. See those pins flying all over the place there.
So Torgersen with a double to his name. Just remember, this is how he started off this competition, with 11 consecutive strikes. And that streak ends right there. And how?
Well, straight through the head pin. The almost inevitable result with pins on both sides. One of the so-called impossible splits. They're not really impossible, but you have to rely on a bounce out of the back of the machine.
Very difficult. He's gone for everything on the bat, and he's got it! Beautiful. fantastic effort from Torgersen. You need a bit of luck, but sometimes you make your own luck.
Tora jokingly clenching his fist toward Bill there, as if to say, follow that.
Well, Bill had a big smile on his face as well. He saw the funny side. But the smiling stops as we get down to serious business. Frame 4, Hoffman with a double of his own. 3 in a row is Turkey. And it's not going to happen for Hoffman either. That was a half-hearted sort of effort with that ball. There was no conviction behind it at all.
Too light. Bill's not happy, shaking his head.
That could have been a lot worse as well, couldn't it?
Yes, it could have been a bucket, or possibly even a 2-10 split combination, but got a relatively safe spare now. Must guard against going straight through the 2-pin and leaving the 5 standing.
Safely done. But both men, just as we settle down to enjoy a feast of strikes, both men have got themselves out of the groove. A strike here would give Torgersen the initiative once again in this finely balanced contest. With this.
Yeah, great shot. And it gives him the initiative, but he is actually still trailing by 1 pin.
But he does have a strike to his name.
Exactly, which Bill doesn't, so Tora can take the lead if he strikes on the next shot. So it's important for Bill to strike here and keep himself in the game.
A tense match, this one now. Hoffman, that looks a better ball. No. It didn't come back at all, did it?
Well, that's pretty much a repetition of his previous shot, and he's left an additional 2 pins with the 2-5 this time.
And remember, he was working a spare there as well, so the pin count is pretty poor.
Yes, he's lost 4 pins on pin count, so he's surrendered any initiative that he might have had with that 1-pin lead. He's now actually got a 3-pin deficit, regardless of whether Torgersen strikes or not, assuming Torgersen makes a spare at least.
He's dealt with that, but that's a few too many spares for Bill Hoffman. So, as you say, it gives the edge to this man right here. Give him an opportunity, he'll usually take it.
And he can really ram home the advantage by turning that strike into a double here.
Well, he's already got 1 double. Is this the double? Yes! And that's put Hoffman in a bit of trouble.
Yes, it's a good shot from Tora. Driving pins towards the 7.
And Hoffman will know he's bowled 2 bad first balls in a row. So he is going to need to make an adjustment. What does he do? Oh, makes the good adjustment.
Well, Bill got this one right. His face is interested in that one all the way down the lane.
Hoffman knows that Torgersen can go on a tear up any time. And is this the moment where he's going to turn on the afterburners? There's your answer. He's got some fans in this audience, hasn't he?
He has, being led on by his European teammates. They seem to be dragging the crowd along with them. A lot of noise coming from this section of the crowd right by the approach.
And every time Torgersen strikes, he absolutely demands that Hoffman strikes just to match him. 23 pins adrift already. Got to stay with him. Oh, and he does. Is that a messenger or a love tap? How would you describe that one?
That's a messenger, Nick, and what a good one. He's just destroyed the 10-pin. You see a pin die in front of the 10-pin, which might ordinarily have taken it, but there goes the head pin, and
oh yeah,
down she goes.
So a double for Hoffman, his second double. But meanwhile, Torgersen here could pick up a four-bagger. Nope, the 10 ends that streak. Bit of disappointment there. Looks a little bit cross with himself more than anything, rather than the bad luck he got. Oh, and now he's got very good cause to kick himself. And the Europeans, I think this is a point you made earlier, Richard, throughout this Weber Cup, the Europeans and their single pin bowling has not been of the highest standard, and they've all been guilty of it.
Yes. Saw it in his face as he let go of the ball. He was worried about it. He wasn't sure whether it would hang on or not, and it didn't.
And look at what happens with an open frame. Look how big a swing that is. He was 23 pins adrift, Hoffman. Now he can strike out for 254. And he is on fire. Nothing motivates you more than seeing your opponent make a mistake.
Well, this puts Bill 10 pins ahead in the game now. Tora really has to strike with this shot. Frames are running out and he has to be able to match any move that Bill makes and hope that Bill gets a little bit unlucky or makes a mistake.
Just when you thought Torgersen was going to take it all to another gear as well, an open frame, and only himself to blame. Well, he didn't get the break there, or is he going to get it? No.
It's a pretty good shot from Tora, but no deflection off the 5. It's been a feature that all these bowlers, the ball's been finishing very strongly through the pocket.
There, but this isn't enough. Thomas Lee Anderson knows that that 4-point advantage is going to be whittled away at the end of this one if Hoffman carries on bowling the way he is. The emphasis has switched back to Team USA. Just when he needed it, he's found the strike zone, the 4-bagger for Bill Hoffman.
Well, Tora's currently running at about a 2.14 pace, and Bill now up to the 2.30 pace, so there's a good 20 pins in it now.
Going into frame 10 as well. Time running out for Torgersen, who is not enjoying the best of fortunes in this Weber Cup after that unbelievable 2.99 start. I thought he was going to be stuck with the split, then I thought they were both going to go, and in the end one of them did. The spares won't get it done.
Well, not without mistakes from Bill. He knew the importance of getting a strike there, because now Bill needs to make a mistake. If he struck, well, might just about still have been possible, but going with his strike ball at the spare there.
This was one of the European banker cards, wasn't it? Torgersen. He's not had a good tournament. One open frame, one simple mistake has effectively been the difference here. And Hoffman can strike out and close it in. Well, does that give Torgersen a glimmer of hope?
Only if Bill misses it.
Well, I guess that's been the difference between Europe and USA. The Americans have not made too many mistakes on these single pins.
Torgersen has got 223 possible, and if Bill misses this, it's 221, so this ought to seal it if he makes it.
Yeah, no question about it. I wonder what it is about these Americans that means they always seem to just hit those single pin high pressure shots. Not that this fella knows what pressure is, of course. And there's the American cheerleader and captain Tim Mack in the red, saying, "Well done, Billy boy."
Just needs to keep the ball on the lane. Don't think there's any danger of that going into it.
That's it. Torgersen is locked out. Bill Hoffman signs off with the win that makes this Weber Cup dead level.
Reset, sorry.
It's more disappointment for Torgersen. Hoffman bowled the more consistent of the two.
Poor delivery from Tora, but he knows the game is over.
Is there a fundamental problem with Tora's game at this tournament? Because since that 2.99, he's not been the player that we know and love. And if there, I mean, what is that problem? If there is a problem?
Well, I think I mentioned it in one of the previous matches that he has been making changes to his game, and he felt good with those changes, but they're probably not automatic reflex for him at the moment, and he needs to concentrate on doing what he needs to do every time he makes the shot at the moment, and maybe he's just letting that not happen when the pressure's on. He's losing concentration, and he hasn't got the muscle memory for it yet.
And there's the result. A win for Bill Hoffman, and a convincing one. And the United States, who at one stage trailed by 4, have levelled up this Weber Cup at 10-all.